Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take a top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, another interesting day to say the least. First up, banks are now asking if Bitcoin can help them stay relevant. And this is the same thing that we've been predicting on this channel for quite some time. The banks are starting to Fomo in because of all the different things that are happening in cryptocurrency and digital assets. And it really comes down to these three ladies. Also, we still don't have a president, and if anything is a marker, history shows presidential elections often mark a turning point for Bitcoin. And if you're into Bitcoin, which I think you are, you're going to really like this article. Also, Alex Mashinsky has stolen the title from Charles Hoskinson as the CEO with the most amount of confidence ever in his project, and I'm going to show you why. But in all actuality, he's got a good reason to be. And finally, we'll round it all out with Q of the Day, where Medic asked a pretty good question about the disappearing ink that we can use on the Shield Folio or Stone Book and how long it actually lasts. So we're getting all that, but first take a look at what's going on in the market. So little turbulence, little uncertainty. I can only imagine why. It is Wednesday, November 4th, about 4 p.m. Texas time, and a lot of things are going on. And the big thing for me, maybe for you too, is Bitcoin is at 14,000. So congratulations. If you were holding this whole time, you did it. You're at 14K. And not too long ago, I remember when it was just March, not too long ago, it was below 4,000. So if you bought down then, congratulations, because you got ice in your veins and you're reaping the rewards. Bitcoin is up 2.5% for 24 hours and 2.6% for the week, so not too shabby. Ethereum busts through the 400 mark, and I can tell you, I can only assume, actually. I can assume that Ethereum will keep above this level, but it seems to be a very precarious situation that Ethereum is in, and it seems to kind of like bounce around. But with the newest addition to PayPal, as they roll out Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin, this could be a catalyst, but again, who knows? I'd like to see it stay above 400, but every time I say it, it goes back down. So I think I'm jinxing it. Tether is sitting around almost 17 billion market cap, so not too bad. XRP keeps steady, I suppose, around 23 cents. Bitcoin Cash is down, weird. Chainlink is up almost 2%, so it's almost $11. But I was hoping it would be on the move, but it's down 12% for the week, so that is never good news. Binance Coin also down, but geez, 16% for the week. That's a big hit. Polkadot still around $4, not too bad. Litecoin's up, great. Cardano up 2.8%, but again, it's still around that 10-cent mark. It really doesn't really go too far up or too far below, but we will see. I mean, it's got a lot of great things happening. I mean, just yesterday they talked about how on their network, all the different stake pools now have more than IOG. So that's good. It means it's more, or it is decentralized now because it's over 50%. As of Friday, it's going to be 49.51. And on top of that, they have that fantastic ERC20 converter, which if you have any kind of project or any kind of coin that's ERC20, you can just transfer it over right to the Cardano network. So that to me is huge, but we'll see how it all works out. USD coin is stable coin, no one cares. And let's see what else. Wrap Bitcoin, same thing. Tezos 1.4, great. OKB, yeah, sure. And then anything big down here? Of course, it's big. It's Celsius Network. Up 14.5%. Man, I gotta tell you, I picked. I can pick them. So Celsius Network. Not that I'm kind of bummed out because I was really ramping up my my DCA. I still put money in. I'm glad I put it in. The last week every day. So I'm pretty happy about that. But kind of hoping to accumulate a little bit more. But hey, here we are. But it's up 14.5 and 22 for the week. So if you're holding Celsius, which I know a lot of you are, congratulations. And I can only tell you, I'm thinking it's going to go much higher, and I'm explaining why in a little bit. But let's break into today's top story. So first up, if banks aren't completely 100% FOMOing in, they're getting ready to, because they're asking questions on a whole nother level, which 2 or 3 years ago would have seemed ridiculous. But here we are. It's amazing how fast cryptocurrency moves. We've got the old style bankers in their old world asking people who are in this space going, hey, how do we stay relevant? Swear that's what they're saying. Can we stay relevant in this day and age? And that question is being asked by Avanti. It's also being asked by Kraken, the bank that both of those are now special depositories in Wyoming, and it's only going to get worse for them. So, and even if those CBDCs come into play, and we have the central banks who are just issuing, the CBDCs directly to the consumers or to the citizens, there is no real reason for a commercial bank other than just to be a node, because you're not going to be hanging around and giving out money. That's not your main purpose anymore. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So this was pretty interesting and just kind of what I thought was going on. So a pair of investment strategists say banks are now taking a closer look at whether Bitcoin can help them stay relevant. In a new interview on the Unchained podcast, CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer Meltem Demirors says she's now fielding crypto questions from banking execs on a regular basis. So it was hosted by Laura Shin. She is a pretty great journalist. I always recommend checking out her channel. Got a lot of great guests. Meltem here, Demirors, hope I said her name right. Chief Strategy Officer at CoinShares, then Lynn Alden. She's the founder of investment strategy at Lynn Alden Group. So they've got a couple of great stories, and it's about an hour and a half long. If you want to listen to it, sure, that's great, but I'm just going to give you the highlights. So to quote Meltem Demirors, she states, "We've been talking to banks and asset managers who are asking, what do we do? Is Bitcoin maybe part of the answer to how we stay relevant? How do we keep AUM, or assets under management, and actually deliver a product that our clients will pay for?" And she's like, it's not rocket science. Just give them what they want. I mean, just don't be stupid. Just say, yes, we will do cryptocurrency digital assets. I mean, I think that's one of the problems with a lot of industries or businesses out there, or even YouTube channels, I'll be honest with you, because people always think, oh, I know what they want. You don't know what people want. You just got to ask them. That's why, like, I mean, just for example, in this channel, I'm always pretty active in the comments section. So when people say, hey, Rob, that was stupid, I don't do those things again. I mean, if it's just one person, I'm like, well, maybe. But if I keep hearing it again and again and again, then I stop doing that, because that's not what people want. So it's the same thing with the banks right now. Just all they have to do is take a look at PayPal. When PayPal opened up everything, they said, hey, we're going to offer crypto and digital assets. Do you guys want something? Well, they had a 3x demand from their wait list, and they said, wow, this is way bigger than we thought. So instead of just having $10,000 per day, we're going to up it to $15,000, and then we're going to roll it out even faster. So they have the pulse on what people want. Banks, again, are not good at innovation, so that's going to take a little bit of time. But the time that it takes for them to catch up, I think that everything's going to get passing them by, and they're going to get blockbustered. Anyhow, Lynn Alden, founder of Lynn Alden Strategy, says she's having similar conversations, which is odd because, I mean, they're all talking to these banks and they're all saying the same things to them. She states, for example, the other day I gave a presentation to a bank board of directors, and Bitcoin wasn't one of my kind of presentation points. I was just talking about fiscal monetary policy, and then one of the first things they asked when I was done was, what do I think about Bitcoin? So she goes over all this, fiscal policy, pretty dry, pretty nice and individualized language for the banks. Like, hey, that was great. Well, what about Bitcoin? And the reason, or part of the reason why these banks are all actually asking about it is because she says right here, because they had noticed, for example, the Michael Saylor investment. And of course, that is the whole micro strategy thing. And she goes into the whole story, but I got to tell you. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, if you're a bank and you're like, how can we make money? Or if you're a corporation, how can we make more money? Well, it's pretty simple. Just take a look at what Michael Saylor did with MicroStrategy, and they plumped down $425 million about a couple months ago, and now it's worth $537 million. So again, not rocket science. So if you put money into an asset that is climbing up and has a tremendous upside, as opposed to any type of stock or bond or any kind of gold or precious metals right now, I don't see gold or silver going up 10x in the next year or so, but I do see Bitcoin doing that. This is an asymmetrical investment, and of course, banks are going to look at that and go, wow, people want this. We can offer it to them, and also the price is going through the roof because it is so valuable. I mean, it's, again, not brain surgery. And then finish up, she says, so the board's like, so how real is this? Is this like still an asset class for the crazies? Or is it, an actual thing? And that's how they phrase it still to this day. Or is it an actual, like, do you treat it like a commodity? Do you treat it like a currency? So she says, I gave them my 5-minute bullish overview for Bitcoin, which is why I'm always talking about the Bitcoin elevator pitch. Check out that video. It's very simple. All you got to say is, look, Bitcoin is digital gold. Unlike gold, it is finite at 21 million, whereas with gold, you're going to keep buying that stuff. It is the best performing asset class ever. It used to cost a nickel, and now it's cost about $14,000, and it's why I'm heavily invested, not to mention the fact that I can send it to anyone, anywhere in the world in less than 30 minutes. That's my elevator pitch, and if you can just give them something like that, I mean, to your friends and family, pretty simple. I'm sure she had to go a little bit more deeper than that, but let me know what you think in the comments section. But again, I think the banks are going to be left behind. They're not very nimble. They can't pivot and move and do things that a small company can, and they're just out of it. That's just how it is. Now, nothing wrong with the bank employees. I mean, I got a lot of people listening to this channel who work for the bank. It's not you. It's just the upper management is holding everything back, and I think you can agree with me. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on. Next up, well, we're still waiting for this presidential election to go through, so we don't know who's going to win. And volatility is great for you traders, but also volatility and uncertainty is great for us because people like to invest into something that is not a quantitative easing, that is a quantitative hardening, that has an assurance and only locked in at 21 million or whatever the market cap or whatever the total supply actually is. So right now, enjoy it because it's great for us. So this is a little piece where it talks about how presidential elections mark a turning point for Bitcoin. And if you've already, and the first part's pretty boring, so I'm going to skip that. Anyhow, it talks about elections typically mark a pivoting point for Bitcoin. And it states, Masari analyst, Masari is a data analytics company, Ryan Watkins explained that presidential elections in the U.S. have typically taken place at the start of all past bull runs. But you have to remember, presidential elections happen how often? Every 4 years. And how often is there a halving? Every 4 years. So it's kind of like the chicken or the egg type of thing. I kind of think there is something to be said about that they're both kind of in that same time point. So we'll see. But he states, not a lot of people know this, but U.S. presidential elections are a leading indicator of Bitcoin bull runs. The 2008 election was a strong catalyst as it caused the launch of Bitcoin just 2 months later. The results speak for themselves. And so Obama was elected in 2008, and then in 2012, around towards the later part there, he was reelected, and then after that, you just saw a huge spike. Again, also, the halving probably had a little bit to do with that. And then we had a little bit of a slump right around there for 2015-16, where I have to tell you, I feel like this is 2016. This 2020 feels like that's what it is because it's kind of like a lull and we're starting to kind of slowly take off. And I kind of feel it's what it is on top of the fact that we have a presidential election, same type of thing. So this was when Trump was elected, 2016. And then in 2017, December, just about a year and a half later, or roughly, we saw the massive parabolic bull run. So here we are over here, same type of thing. Everything's playing out perfectly. We have a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty, so I can only see these things going up. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it. Anyhow, Watkins believes that reduced economic uncertainty provides fertile ground for Bitcoin to grow up. The reduced uncertainty follows elections, provides fertile ground for Bitcoin bull runs, and he states presidential elections are greater than halvings. So slow your roll. I don't think it's that big of a thing. I mean, it is great to have uncertainty, but there's something to be said when you cut the production costs in half, and all of a sudden you're like, wait. You're telling me that it used to be 12 and a half Bitcoins every 10 minutes that the miners would produce. Now it's only 6.25. Then in former years, it's going to be 3.175, whatever it is. So, I mean, you have to look at that and go, that's a big thing as far as the finite supply. So again, to reiterate, from here on out, I think we're going to see, it's still going to be turbulent. We're still going to have ups and downs, peaks and valleys, but 2021 is our year. I say it in every single video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on. So next up, and this is a quick piece. If you don't follow Alex Mashinsky on Twitter, what are you doing? This guy's gold. I mean, he's got so many good pieces and just rails on the banks and just rails on these different projects and just really, he's an entertaining guy, but he's got a great product. And if you don't know, I'm a big believer in Celsius, and it's where I store 30% of my entire portfolio on the Celsius platform. So the lion's share, of course, in a ledger, which I kind of feels like my vault, but Celsius has a big chunk. And I believe in, I think it's going to do good things, just like we saw with the price of the Celsius tokens. But why is that? Well, it could be because 98% of their employees have committed to a 3-year lock on their $1.50. They're going to lock it up, $1.50 of all their cell tokens that they have accumulated. So all their employees go, you know what, we believe in it so much that we're going to have you lock it up for 3 years so we can't touch it. And of course, what happens when those go out of circulation? More demand, potentially. It looks like that's what's going on. And then also the price goes up. So that is just one of the things that is going on top of the fact that they do so many loans. And of course, I am not oblivious to the elephant in the room, or excuse me, the rhino pooping all over the place for this little piece here. I just thought it was hilarious to put it in. And that is the beauty of cryptocurrency, digital assets, and especially on social media. You got a great point, and you got someone just posting just insanity. So anyhow, on top of that, I mean, if you just want to follow Alex and just see what he's talking about, there's a lot of good things about what he talks about, the Celsius flywheel and how it correlates to the actual price, because you can get paid in Celsius outside the United States, because I have been putting a lot of my assets into Celsius. Unfortunately, if you're an American citizen, you cannot earn in Celsius, which is a bummer. However, they do have great rates. And whatever you are into, that's fine. But Celsius is for me. I just like it. And there was this little piece here I thought was pretty interesting from Crypto Knight Rider. Says, if you invested your $1,200 stimulus check on April 13th, purchasing 15,000 Cell tokens, it would now be worth 21,000. That was on November 1st. And it's gone up another 26% or 13% or whatever it was. So just food for thought. And then also Alex is going to talk about DeFi and how Celsius has outperformed all the DeFi projects. So I'll let you look into it. Anyhow, at Mashinsky, follow him, pretty good and interesting stuff. So that is it for this piece. Let's jump into Q of the day. So Q of the day comes to us from my man Medic. I do like Medic. He's kind of like me. Yeah, he was a medic, obviously. I was the same thing. We both got gray in our beards, and that's just how it is. But he has a good point here. And I had talked about this in another video, but I wanted to make it crystal clear, is that he says, hey, Dan, well, yet another safe gimmick. And he's talking about the ink that is being produced by this ghost pen. So let's jump in the office. This was pre-recorded a while ago, but I think it's good to note right now. So let's jump in. And welcome back to Q of the day. And actually, it's not so much really a question, but it is a comment, and it's a pretty good one. So this was actually after we did a video, and we talked about the Stone Book or the Shield Folio. And I like it. I like to use it. It seems to save me a lot of heartache because I don't want to lose all my cryptocurrency. There's a lot of different things out there, but it's a low-tech option. I like it. So this is from my man, Medic, RVN Medic. And I like this guy because he's just like I am. He's an old medic and got a lot of good things to say. So Medic, thanks so much for this comment. It really put things into light. And he states, he goes, yet another safe gimmick. Does the manufacturer have an estimate of the life expectancy of the disappearing ink? It might be gone in 1 year. Who knows? And before we move on, what he's talking about is that the Shield Folio product it's a lightweight pocketbook that is tear resistant, water resistant, tamper resistant, and you put in all your seed phrases and mnemonic phrases and passwords. And it has two forms you can do it in. You can write on it, and then also there's this thing called a ghost pen, which has a specialty ink, which when you run it under black light, you can see the actual thing that you're writing on. So that's exactly what he is. And he has a good point here, which is, hey, how do we know this won't just disappear in like 6 months, a year, 2 years? So it is a good point. And then he says, I hope you got this gratis or free to test, but it seems every time a safe wallet comes out, you have one. Medic, that is true. People send me stuff all the time. And I got to tell you, I show you guys a quarter of what I actually get sent. He says, I'll pass on this one, just like the money I spent on a Ledger Nano. I said, well, Medic, where do you store your passwords? And he says, hey, in our home safe on a seed card. So it comes down to this. Everybody's different, and they have their own little styles of way to do things. Medic has a rock solid way to do it. He's got a seed card he puts in his safe, and that's good. Some people do something else, but this is what I do, and maybe this is for you. So I reached out to the founder and CEO of Shield Folio or Stonebook, and I asked him that question, and he is on today. Freddie, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
How's it going? Glad to be here. Hey, everyone.
Great. All right, Freddie. So that's the question. We have this ink. We have to trust it. How long is it going to last? And how is the whole process? How did you test it all out? So walk us through it.
Okay, so the ink is a UV ink, transparent ink, fluorescent ink. It has built in it, it's permanent, it's waterproof, and it has a super glue solution in it that binds to the stone paper to make sure it actually could last a lifetime, not multiple lifetimes.
Super glue, like ape strength style?
Yeah, like ape strength style. It's one of the strongest glue out there. So it doesn't come off. It's waterproof. It's something that's not out there in the market. It's like possibly the strongest invisible ink you could find, and it works perfect with the Stonebook.
Great. Now you were talking about
on metal, but no.
Oh, sorry. you were talking about working with a chemist before when we talked, because that was the big thing. So how did that all come about?
Yes. We were just working with the chemist, trying to get the solution right, making sure the ink doesn't dry out after a certain amount of time, because we're using super glue. And we actually came up with this super strength solution. And it's, like I said, the strongest, I believe the strongest out there
And then
right now. That's,
Gotcha. And you said that you were testing it against permanent ink, like black marker ink, and you would rub it with what kind of solution to wipe it off?
With an alcohol wipe. So I was rubbing it off, and you could actually wipe off the Sharpie permanent marker black ink more. Actually, you could wipe most of it off compared to the ghost ink inside the ghost pen. So that's how strong this, because it has that glue solution inside it, it really doesn't rub off.
Okay.
And it stays fluorescent. I mean, like I said, for a lifetime.
Awesome. Yeah, because that's the big thing. If it can last, I mean, we'd like to use it. So I'm still old school. I'll do it. I played around with it. It was like James Bondish, very cool. But I
cool.
like it, so I see it. But there was another technique that you were talking about, and I had never heard before. So tell us about this. What was it called? Swirly?
It's called, I think it's called squirreling with your wallet.
Swirling.
So what it is you actually have, like in the notebook, if you use the stone book, for instance, you can actually write the real mnemonic phrase, the high valued wallet mnemonic phrase with the ghost pen inside, inside the page, right? So, and what you do is in front of it, since you can't see the invisible ink, you write, not a fake wallet, but a low value wallet, something with like $30 on it.
Okay.
So that way you write it with a ballpoint pen that's noticeable, that's seen. So that way if somebody steals your book, they can actually, the first thing they're going to do is unload that wallet. And that's going to send you a notification. If you sign up for notifications with Etherscan, create an account, and you could attach the address to get notifications there anytime a transaction goes in or out. So right away, once you get that transaction, once a transaction goes through, somebody grabbed your notebook, because that's probably the first thing they're going to do. So
I got
if you have a second notebook, go out there and unload that really valuable crypto that you have.
So yeah. So when I was wrapping my head around, I go, I've never heard of that technique. I mean, for safety, it makes a lot of sense. So on the one page, we're going to write in ink, regular ink, one of the wallets that you have, a low value wallet, maybe with $30 worth of tomato coin or whatever it is. Right?
Yeah.
And then on the back page, you're going to write in the ghost ink, which is the one we were just talking about with the grill. And then of course, people see that if they ever take your wallet and they actually know what the heck is going on, they're going to say, okay, so this is it. They're going to get that wallet. They're going to download it and okay, and that's it. You're saying we do something like that, and then we actually, on my Etherscan, is it my Etherscan? Is that what you said? Etherscan.
Well, sorry, it's etherscan.io.
We can actually put the wallet ID in there and track it, and we can see all the transactions.
Wallet address.
So here's what I'm going to
do. I'm going to show you something right here. So this is, it's just a quick example, but let's say it's filled up with the whole mnemonic phrase, but in the back, you're able, I don't know if you can see, you're able to write behind it.
Ah, that's crazy.
So that's where you store the real high valued, Ethereum wallet, or, whatever wallet you want to hide. And then in the front, it's just a decoy.
And that's because someone in the comments section, I'm glad I actually read the comments. They said, hey, I've got 2 books. One I keep at home for it because I want to do these things. But if that one gets destroyed, lost, stolen, or something like that, I have a second one at my bank in my safety deposit box. And I was like, no, that's a pretty good idea. That's why I actually ordered the second one from you. So, okay, I get it. So walk us, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen so people know what the heck we're talking about. Walk us through the whole Etherscan thing. So let me share my screen. Okay, so my man, here we are. So we're on Etherscan, and you have to have an account. If you don't have an account, just click right there for sign in. It'll ask you, hey, do you want to create an account? You sign up. I've already signed up. I'm going to log in.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, there I am. Dan Digital Asset News at Gmail. Okay. Freddie, walk us through. What the heck are we doing?
You're going to go to address watch list. It's in the middle. You're going to click the magnifying glass. Yeah.
Got it.
And then from there, you're going to add your wallet. And that's going to be the decoy wallet that's written with the normal ballpoint pen that's going to be seen. So you're going to add that address in there.
Got it. So what I'm going to do to show you, like this is my Brave browser wallet. I've got a pretty hefty amount almost. So what I'm going to need to do is this is the address that you want, right? So I'm going to copy this to the clipboard.
Yeah.
And for you watching the video, this is whatever your address is. So you're going to put it right there. Okay. And then description, I'm just going to put Brave browser. Whoops. Walleto. Okay. And then for here,
you're going to go ahead and click notify incoming transactions.
Okay. And that's,
oh, wait, it's the one on top of it actually. So you can get,
oh, incoming, outgoing. Okay.
Yeah. And then also track. Yeah.
Okay.
And then continue. And the alerts will come through your email. So you successfully added that to your watch list. So anytime there's a transaction, you know, if you lose your notebook, you know, if somebody's actually got your crypto, you'll get, hey, this got sent out. And that's the address you use, the decoy address. Behind that actual decoy address, you're writing down in the page with the ghost pen. It's a good tip to have out there just to stay secure.
So if you watch this, just know that you can go right to shieldfolio.com and find it, or you can, what I always do, is sometimes I forget, I put in Stonebook and cryptocurrency. However, if you go in the description, you can get 15 of every one of my videos. It's going to look something like this. And then when you click on that link, it'll give you 15% off. All right. Well, Freddie, we really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Product is great. And yeah, so thanks so much. And that is it for tonight. Thanks again for being on the show. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll see you. All right, that's it. So thanks for sticking with me through the whole thing. Again, you can find the link in the description below, along with many others if you're interested in those types of things. I've got a couple of those books, so I totally believe in them. Also, if you don't know, I have a second channel, and the reason I created Dan Clips was for two reasons. One is because sometimes I talk a little bit too much, so I like to break things down into clips so you can just see like little 6-minute, 7-minute clips instead of going through the whole 30 minutes to find what you're looking for. Second reason was it's like a backup channel because YouTube at any time can just go, you know what, Dan, we don't like your channel, get out. And they could shut me down. So have to have some kind of backup, and this is one of them. On top of my Theta channel, which I really need to get back into. We just came over from El Paso to Houston. We're going to be in Houston for the next 3 to 4 weeks, and I'll go back. So a lot of things going on. But that is it. So again, thanks for sticking with me. Really appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one.